I'm Kamika Dillard, certified ACC professional coach and CEO of FAMU Forward Coaching. At FAMU Forward Coaching, professional growth isn't one size fits all. That's why we've created 3 ways to support you. DOT for building clarity and direction, RISE for resilience and intentional action, and VISION for long-term strategy and leadership. Each program is designed to help you move through setbacks with confidence and clarity and create momentum that lasts. No pressure, no hustle, just real progress. Ready to explore what's possible? Book a free discovery call at failforwardcoaching.com. Welcome to the Black Women S.A.V.E. Black Women podcast, the podcast where we support, amplify, validate, and elevate Black women always. I'm your host, Kamika Dillard, and this is our sanctuary. We have a very special show today, but before we get into it, let's get into this week's Fail Forward File. So this week's Fail Forward File is personal, very personal. The truth is, this podcast almost didn't happen. I was sitting in doubt, questioning my worth, questioning whether or not my voice mattered, whether anyone would listen, whether I had the capacity to carry something this big. I stalled, I second-guessed myself, I almost let fear win. And in that hesitation, I nearly failed before I even started. But here's the lesson. Failing forward means recognizing that the biggest failure would have been silence. The failure would have been not creating the space for Black women to tell our stories, to heal, to save each other, but in allowing my fear to really continue to silence Black women. So yes, this podcast almost didn't happen, but I pushed through the fear, the imperfections. It's been a little wonky, but here we are. And almost every episode is proof that sometimes the thing you are most afraid of to start is the very thing you were called to do. And that is this week's Fail Forward File. All right, let's get into this week's guest, which will connect why that was this week's Fail Forward File. Nikki Free. Nikki is a cultural force blending bold fashion, unapologetic truth-telling, and sharp political commentary. With 30 plus years in journalism and communication, she's the creator of 92 Seconds of News with Nikki Free and the viral 92% image that captured Black women's fatigue post-election. Through her platforms and her Free Hive community of 200,000 plus, Nikki inspires women over 40 to live fully, loudly, and unapologetically. Let's welcome to the sanctuary, Nikki Free.
Thank you so much. I love that introduction, except for the 30 years in the business. Now everybody know how old I am, but I'm not shy about my age.
First of all, I keep telling Black women, continue to lean into however many years of experience. We don't look our age.
No, absolutely. And that was a joke, honey. I do not shy away from telling my age.
How old are you, Nikki?
I am 53 years old.
Listen,
53 and fabulous.
53 and fabulous. I've been loving your journey in your 50s because I met you before you turned 50.
Yep, right when I was about to turn 50.
Yes,
we met.
Before I turned 40.
Yep.
So it was so refreshing to see you, and I was all nervous about turning 40. I'm like, and you're like, girl, get ready.
Yes.
Get ready for the best years of your life.
The very best. You in your 40s. Wait till you get to your 50s. I didn't even realize it could be this amazing. I did not even realize it, but I love it.
I love it. So me and Nikki, for those who are wondering, we met on the trip that I always mention to Ghana. It's the trip that keeps giving. I'm never, ever going to forget that trip because of all the fabulous women who I met, Nikki being one of them. I'm never, shout out to Demetria L. Lucas. She's always going to have a special place in my heart because she brought me so many wonderful women in my life.
Absolutely. When we went on that trip, and this was the first time that I'd been on the continent of Africa and the first time that I had traveled outside of the U.S. by myself without anybody that I knew. So I was taking a new step. And then I met this wonderful sisterhood of women that I mean, that trip was amazing, and all that it has poured into my life with this tribe of fabulous women of all different ages, of all different backgrounds, of all different experiences. But it has just been an amazing journey, and I love y'all. Y'all know I love
you
y'all.
more. I love you more. So when I say that Black Women will say Black Women podcast almost didn't happen, it was because I was in my head, and Nikki probably won't even remember this, but in September of 2025, Labor Day weekend, we went to dinner, me, you, and Deja.
Okay.
And we were talking, and I was just like, girl, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Da, 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 da. And you said to me, Nikki, if I were you, I would tell how you are one of the 300,000, this is back when it was 300,000, Black women who had got laid off. I would sit and I would tell my story about, what I'm dealing with, like, how I'm navigating the day. And I was like, don't nobody want to listen to that. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care, girl. I don't have enough followers. I lack da 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 da. And you kept saying, girl, like, you should do it. And I was like, well, my analytical mind, isn't there too many people in that space? Isn't it like repetitive, et cetera, et cetera? And you kept telling me no, and that I should really lean into it. I have a good personality, all this other stuff. And of course I didn't listen.
Because you stay in your head.
I stay in my head.
Oh my gosh.
I stay in my head. It took another 30 days post that dinner for another friend to read me for filth. I felt like you read me a little lovingly. My other girlfriend read me for filth. She's like, she called me all kinds of bitches and all kinds of stuff. Like, if you don't get your ass on the mic and start just talking and doing something, like,
because that's everybody who Demetria got on the mic and started talking, right? And I use her because we know her, we're connected through her, right? People have to realize that all of us have a voice and all of us have something that people want to hear. And we've got to start telling those stories, especially in this political climate, because I love the name of your podcast, right? Black Women Will Save Black Women, because at the end of the day, we are all that we've got. We have got to embrace each other, right? And if that trip to Ghana didn't do anything, what am I trying to say? Y'all done got all tongue twisted. If it did one thing the best, it was connected women who would have never met.
Never.
We would have never met each other. And it has connected us in a way that has inspired all of us to be better women, to ourselves, to our families, and within our communities, and using our voices to uplift each other. And that is what you were meant to do. You were meant to be in this space. I don't know why you stay in your head so much. I don't understand it. You didn't even know us. Let me tell y'all, you may have known one person on the trip, I think, maybe. Did you know Deja? Or
I didn't know anybody.
Okay, you didn't know anybody.
I didn't know nobody.
And I guess because you, Deja, Maya are all from L.A. Nakia are all from L.A. I thought maybe you all knew each other. I know Nakia and Maya knew each other. But on the trip, you didn't even know us and you took charge. You were wrangling all of us together. We was like, okay, we guess we gonna follow Kamika. Kamika said we doing this. And we all started doing it. So you have that natural leadership and authoritative personality, right? And not in a threatening or, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to cuss this bitch out way, right? No, not in that way at all, but one that says, yeah, we should be doing that. We should be bold. You have such a bold personality. So I was always like, why is she afraid to pivot? Why is she afraid to use her voice when in this day and age, it takes nothing for us to build an audience and use our voice?
And you do such a masterful job of using your voice.
Thank you.
Which is why I just admire everything you're doing right now, especially even with 92 Seconds of News, which, you've gotten a little bit of heat, but tell us what made you or what inspired the 92 Seconds of News and how that all came about.
So, I am very politically engaged. Always have been. I come from a family that none of them are elected officials, but are very, very politically engaged. So, from a child, I have always been interested in politics and news. So, a lot of people don't know that I used to be a reporter. I mean, they're knowing that now because I'm sharing it. But I went to school, got a degree in journalism. Always wanted to be a writer.
Where'd you go to school, Nikki?
I went to Florida, the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, FAMU. So everybody, they know I am like a FAMU fanatic. So that's why she asked me that question. And I love HBCUs. But went to FAMU, got a degree in journalism, always knew I wanted to be a reporter, did 5 internships at newspapers when I was in school. So I've always used my voice, but in a pen, with the pen, right? I love to write. And so became a creator for Kamala because I've been in the creator space now for 15 years, something like that, 10 years, I can't remember. 10 years, 2015, 10 years. And so the campaign reached out to me, asked me if I wanted to be a creator for Kamala, kind of push her policy positions and that kind of stuff with my audience. And I said, of course I do. So did that. And was just very, very enthusiastic about her campaign. Not just because she's a Black woman, but because I believed in what she was talking about. Although I had, we all have some issues with different politicians. I didn't believe in everything she supported, but I really felt like it was time for a woman to be in the White House. Got really engaged in that. And like most of us, just was unbelievably disappointed and devastated when she didn't win. And not just because it was Kamala, but because of what did win. And we already had experience with what was going to happen, right? And it was going to be worse this time because there's no guardrails and there's nothing keeping him from doing whatever the hell he wants to do, right? And so just devastated. And in fact, now let me tell you the story about the 92% meme, because I got a lot of flack behind that as well.
Oh, yes,
right?
I remember.
So I was online on Threads, in fact, and I saw this picture of these, and it looked like a painting. And it was these women, Black women, just sitting on a building, watching like the world around them on fire, being destroyed. And I thought, that is a powerful image. Never did I think at the time that it was speaking to the current election and all that. I didn't think that. I was just like, that's a powerful picture. But to me, it represented what I was feeling about that moment. And so I'm sitting at my desk and I'm trying to learn AI, playing with it as a 53-year-old woman. I want to stay connected to all the things that are happening, all these new technologies. And I'm sitting at my desk and I'm looking at that picture and there's no name on it. I don't know, somebody just posted it. I just saw it online. And I'm looking at it and I said, you know what? This is representative to me of the 92% of Black women who voted for Kamala Harris. And I said, I went in AI and I said, I want to create a image like this, but it has to say 92% and it has to have the American flag because we are as American as apple pie.
Absolutely.
And people try to act like we're not. We are born and bred here, Black culture for free. For free. And I want to say this too, and I know I'm getting a little wordy and getting a little off track, but we are inherently American. Black culture is American culture, right? And then people like to say to us, white people like to say to us, well, why are y'all so angry? Y'all weren't here when it was happening. I have a grandmother. If I say her name, if I say her age, I'm going to get cussed out. But my grandmother is still here. Let's just say she was born in the 30s. She is still here. She dealt with some of that.
Absolutely.
So we still hear and we still feel sometimes the same amount of fear that she had growing up. She still kind of holds on to some of that because of some of the things that she went through. So we see it every single day. Until that generation is gone, you cannot ask me why I am pissed off about why we are still suffering in this country under white supremacy and all of that bullshit. Because our grandparents are still alive.
They still
Some of our parents are still alive who drank out of Black only or colored water fountains, who had to walk into the back of Walgreens or Woolworth to buy to spend your money in a store, you had to deal with disrespect, right? And then my great grandmother, who's no longer here, cleaned a Eastern Airlines pilot house for over 30 years, and that family never put a dime in Social Security for her. But then people are saying when she's getting government assistance because she's too old to work anymore, she's getting a handout. That is why we're upset, because you all or the greater society, white people,
Call them.
pretty much don't know a damn thing about what it looked like for us to survive in this country. They, hear these sanitized stories about, how America came to be that don't include the violence, the deviation, the dehumanization of Black people in this country. So that's why we are still pissed off, and that's why we reacted the way we reacted to this administration.
And part of the reason why I wanted to bring you on here is to discuss the systematic way that so many Black women are now unemployed as a result of this administration coming into fruition.
Right.
The second time around of this administration, because this was violence, to me, retaliatory against the Black women who voted for Kamala, the 92%. And I think now we're up to 750,000 Black women who have been laid off. Is corporate America still worth our energy?
Ooh, that is a good question. Is corporate? We have to look out for ourselves. And what I mean by that, if being in corporate America is going to help you do what you need to do for yourself and for your family, then you take that route. But there is so many other ways for us to take care of ourselves, using our voices, using our creativity. The internet opened up the world for us. And while this, administration is attacking us, there are other ways. I look at it like this. Maybe this is God's way of saying, you know what? It's time for y'all to play a different game. It's time, and I had to put this in front of you all for you all to realize this structure that this country has created for you is not working for you. It's no longer supportive of you. It's no longer healthy for you. So it's time for you, Kamika, to start Black Women Will Save Black Women, right? And so I don't want to say corporate America I still work in corporate America. People don't think I got a job. I do have a job. I still work in corporate America. Where I work works for me. It has for 21 years, right? They allow me to use my voice. They don't hinder what I want to do on my personal time. It doesn't affect what I do at my job. But for some people, corporate America ain't for you. And it keep getting up 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning to get to work at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and to be there all day slaving for someone who does not have your best interests at heart.
At all.
Right? And then you get home, you're tired. If you got children, if you got a husband, you got to cater to that. You got to do all of that. And then you're back at that job that is depleting everything, all of your energy, all of your creativity, all of your love, all of your humanity. That job is sucking that out of you, then that's not for you. That's not where you need to be. But we have got to learn how to pivot, and we've got to learn to have a bunch of different income streams, because we can. Again, the internet has opened up the world for us, and we just got to take advantage of it.
As a 53-year-old Gen Xer who embraces all the change, embraces the technology, embraces the new social media. I mean, Nikki was doing social media in a way I never even cared to do as a millennial. What mindset do you feel that your specific generation needs to do during this time of so much turmoil, and where we do need to pivot and think about things differently?
I think my generation is doing that, though. I think in many ways, Gen X gets we kind of get shitted on a little bit for certain things. And I'm like, we been getting shitted on, but we the one that created a lot of this stuff that y'all are doing. We are the blueprint for a lot of these things, right? And Gen X, while our younger sisters and then our children are out, the world opened up for them because of social media and because of the internet, because you all are out here doing so many good things. I think that lends to us pushing you all out there too, right? We start when I was growing up, my mom stayed on her job for 30, 40 years. They had pension plans, they had great benefits, they had all of this, right? From the time I was in the 7th grade until I graduated from college, I knew I wanted to be a reporter. So I did everything. My mom even helped guide me into to do the things and to lay the foundation for what it was I wanted to do. 2, 3 years into the news business, I started seeing what we see today, the manifestation of that, right? I started seeing it back then in the late 90s. I started seeing where we were forced to manufacture news. I started seeing where we were chasing sensationalism. I started seeing where we weren't questioning people hard because we wanted access journalism. And I didn't want to do that. And I said, and I was in my 20s, I think. I said, I am not doing this. I am out of here. And I left and became a spokeswoman for a state law enforcement agency in Florida, right? So I pivot. I still use my journalism degree because in order for me to get that job, those people had to be reading my stories. And they called me and they said, we like what you do. I was covering police. I was covering government. We like what you do. We're creating a job for you. And so this state agency created a job for me. But I say all of that to say, when I was telling my mom, oh, Mom, I'm resigning in 2 weeks, she laid into me. She said, you have wanted to do this all of your life. You went to college to do this. You are giving up on your dream and your job. And I can't believe that this is what you want to do. You young people have no loyalty to these jobs. And I sat back. And I said, and these jobs have no loyalty to us. The benefits and the pension that you have, we don't have that. We have a 401k that the government has forced on us that is our money, but they playing with it. Look at your 401k today and see what it's looking like. So what it has been looking like over the last 10 years with Donald Trump manipulating the markets.
No, I don't look anymore.
And so why would I stay there? And so I pivoted. And that was a Gen X move because a lot of my friends did what our boomer parents wouldn't do, wouldn't leave their jobs, right? And so I think we set an example of it's okay not to stay at this job forever. It's okay to move around. And I will tell you, I told my mom this in 1992, 93, I was in the Career Placement Center at FAMU doing some paperwork about different internships and stuff. And our advisor said to us, y'all go stay on these jobs 2 or 3 years, get that training and go somewhere else and make some more money and keep doing it because these jobs are not loyal to you all. I learned that in college. So I think Gen X has set the example of it's okay to pivot. It's okay to move. Girl, I've had a few jobs since I've graduated from college and I've lived all over this country.
But see, Nikki, I look at you as an exception to the rule.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Because most of my friends are just like me.
But remember, we know that we're kind of in a friend bubble where we all think, oh, everyone's like doing the same thing that we're doing. There's so many people who have felt their worlds collapse because they have lost these jobs that they were loyal to on the job for, 10 plus, 20 plus. Some people never have been laid off. I'm a millennial girl. We've been under unprecedented events since you were born. Since I was born, okay?
Right.
So, of course, I'm used to it. But I want you to think about the Gen Xer that's not like you and not like your friend family that is dealing with these new layoffs.
It's hard for me to think that way, right? And I can share some advice, but it's hard for me because every one of my friends and people in that circle, even, people who are associates of mine, who are friends of friends, we have all been like this, right? We have my 2 very best friends. Them heifers ain't never worked for nobody else. They graduated, well, one of them did for a few years, but they graduated from FAM. One of them has a degree in psychology and started her own braiding gallery, an art gallery, African art gallery in Tallahassee, and wrote the certification that certified braiders in the state of Florida. She went and did that because she refused to go to cosmetology school because she didn't work with chemicals. And so she fought with the state, right? She's been doing that for 30 years. My other best friend, you met both of them when we came out. She worked at a title loan company for a few years and then started her own. She's been doing that for 25 years, right? So I'm the only one that did the whole corporate America route, but I pivoted. I kept moving. If a job is not providing for you what it is that you need for yourself, not what that job needs, okay? What you need for yourself. I believe in not perfect, nothing is perfect, but I believe in a full work-life balance. And I'm going to say this, I do not go to work to live. Well, how do I want to say this? My job is not, I go to work.
You don't live for your job.
I don't live, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, child. I'm saying too much. I don't live for my job. I go to work so I can live. Right? I want to travel. I want to shop. I want to chill. I want to go to the spa. So I go to work and do my very best every day, but not because I'm beholden to that job. That job is providing the life that I want to live. So if you are on a job that is not providing that type of access for you, then you need to rethink that job, is in my view. Also, we have to learn to pivot. We cannot sit on these jobs and think that these jobs are going to be there for us
forever.
That has been one of the biggest mistakes I think a lot of Black people have made. We have got to understand that these jobs are not loyal to us. Corporate America is not loyal to us. Capitalism is nothing but exploitation, right? You go to work, your benefits get cut every year. Your benefits get cut every year, but you still go to that job every day. And I know it's not as easy to find a job, but you also have to have the mindset that I am going to go out and make this happen for myself. We've got to have that mindset. We cannot be so devastated when these people get rid of us because you have sat at a job where you know somebody that died, that was giving their entire life to that job. And the day they died, there was a job announcement, an opening announcement.
For their role.
For their role. They were going to hire somebody else. So I guess I have to start with the mindset. You have got to go into that job knowing that it is not always going to be there. Hell, they might not fire you. You don't know, the executive team and the board might be doing some fucked up shit and the company filed for bankruptcy and you out of a job tomorrow.
And we know that happened during this round of layoffs.
Exactly.
So there's so much. I think where the challenge is, and I know it is because I experienced it myself, is that we have these great paying jobs. And there is financial fear that a lot of us deal with. And also we carry a lot of financial weight as Black women.
We do.
So how do we balance that desire for freedom while also honoring the fact that, we have financial fear, we have to take care of families, we don't have the freedom maybe that other cultures have when it comes to leaving a job or thinking about the pivot a little bit differently?
Sometimes I think we get so caught up in the caretaker role that we forget that we have to take care of ourselves. I can't help my mama if I'm not helping myself. I can't help my brother and his kids if I'm not helping myself. And so we have got to think about, if I am not getting if I'm not getting out of this job what I need to be able to help other people, this is not the role for me. This is not the place for me. And I know I say that with a lot of confidence because I will say I am a confident person, but I'm also a very faithful person. And I believe that God will bring that money to me. The job that I'm on right now, I say I've been there 21 years. I've quit twice.
Mm.
And each time I've quit, they have said, well, will you stay on as a consultant? As long as y'all keep paying me what y'all pay me. They say, okay. And then they'll say, come back. Come on back. You tired of being pissed off at us now? Come back, right? And I've built that relationship with the owners of the company for a number of years, right? But I have never been afraid that money is not going to come. And I spend money like crazy.
I know.
I spend money like it's grow on trees, as my mom liked to say. But I have never been afraid that the money is not there because I am confident in my skills. I am confident in my ability to network. I am confident in my ability to walk into somebody's office and say, y'all need me. I just am. So I think we have got to learn to harness that confidence, even if it means you got to stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself, talk to yourself in the way that you want to talk to somebody else. We've got to have that level of confidence. We've got to not, and that's really the basics of it, Kamika. One, these jobs are not, we should not be beholden to jobs that don't give a damn about us. That's number one. Yes, we need that paycheck, but we also don't need to overextend ourselves sometime when we know this shit ain't what we need to be doing, right? Also, you got to pivot. Can you draw? Can you make jewelry? Can you jump on social media and show people how to put outfits together? Can you jump on social media? You're the HR VP at company X, Y, and Z, and you see the bullshit that's happening. Can you jump on YouTube and not without exposing that the shit is going on at your company, but saying this is how you navigate this? I guarantee you people will start following because people are hungry for information. People are hungry for information about how to do things, how to pivot, how to move. One of the reasons I pivoted from doing fashion all the time as a fashion influencer is because I felt like we got enough outfits, but what we don't have is enough outrage. While I'm sitting here talking about fashion, Donald Trump and them pushing fascism. So I'm not going to be online where I have made a lot of money doing fashion content. I am not going to be online telling my sisters, because that's my biggest follower, go spend money on this $1,000 bag, or go spend money on this extravagant trip, or go spend money going to this expensive restaurant for an experience when I know what's coming down the pike. So I pivoted from fashion to politics, which is really my passion. I just didn't want to get all involved in it before. I just wanted to use social media as something fun. But now I feel like it is my responsibility as a former journalist, as someone who has worked in, people don't know this, but somebody who has worked in governor's offices, someone who has written speeches and press releases and stuff for governors and others elected officials, somebody who ghostwrites for celebrities and elected officials. I felt like it was time for me to use my voice. And because I talk to my friends, I talk to my family about what's happening because I'm very involved in the process, and they listen. Well, why can't I use my voice to help other people and tell them what is coming down the pike? We don't have enough time to be sitting up here watching the media that has capitulated and ain't telling us shit.
At all.
They ain't telling us nothing.
I think what I want people to take away from this is the power of your pivots. So you went from being a journalist to saying, hey, I don't want to work for newspapers anymore. And you still were able to harness your passions and what drives you. And even like your switch from fashion to now addressing fascism, which I'm in love with the 92 Seconds of News.
Thank you.
I think that people have to understand that this isn't as hard as folks think it is.
It's not. What do you mean? The pivot is not as hard,
To me, the pivot is not as hard in terms of, let's just say social media is not their thing. Okay. But you talked about how, you encourage the HR director to go and talk about how to navigate HR. There's so much stuff that we can do in terms of thinking about multiple streams of income, which we know is super important in a time like this, but also harnessing the things that we're passionate about, especially when we have so much access to the internet.
Yeah.
So how should we encourage people to tap into those passions that they may not think are like, oh, this ain't gonna make me no money? Like, How would you encourage folks to do that?
Well, one, and this is probably going to sound, I don't know how this is going to sound. I'm just going to say it. We can't always be focused on the money.
Ooh, you about to hurt some people's feelings,
You
Nikki.
can't, but the truth is, let me tell y'all something. I ain't never focused on no money. My mama tell you that. I used to be crying and screaming and begging when she went buy me stuff. I ain't never focused on it. I ain't know my mama didn't have it. I was just like, that's what I want, right? I have never focused on the money in my career, but the money has always come to me. And it's a couple of things. And I've not always believed in, I shouldn't say I haven't always believed in, but I haven't always embraced my confidence, my experience, my voice. It's just who I am. So I never saw it as a product, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest issues I see with Black women.
Mm.
We walk on these jobs. We have these titles. I am the vice president of, customer service. I am the vice president of HR. I am the vice president of IT, or I'm the president, or I am this at these companies. We walk in there with so much confidence and we the experts, and then we come home and we ain't the expert of nothing. You better use that same level of expertise that you're giving these folks on these jobs and figure out how to pivot and make it work for you too. We think we know we're the expert at the job, but when we're in the community or with our girlfriends, we shrink. No, I am still an expert at what I do at work out here in the community. You harness it. Right? If I can sit and talk politics all day at work, because I do have to go up to Sacramento, I'm in DC. Well, if I can do that every day, why can't I come and talk to y'all about what some of these policies mean? So again, going back to the HR director, the level of expertise that you exert at that job, you should also be using that level of expertise out in the community at home to build yourself another income stream. Why can you not do that?
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? Ladies, why can't you do that? If you can, what's the job? If you can be a lawyer at Greenberg Traurig, at Ackerman Centerfit, and win all these cases, why you can't go on social media if that's your thing? Why can't you go on social media and start breaking down the Diddy case?
Oops.
You know that's what people want to hear about, and you have a legal mind to do that. So pick up a camera and just start telling us what you saw that was wrong in that prosecution, what you saw, or why you would not have picked those two jurors that we were privy to see in that documentary, right? Use the same level of expertise that you use on your job to save Black women.
Mm. And I would even go a little further down, because not everyone is in love with social media. But if you are a lawyer and you have expertise in understanding juror behavior, why don't you have your own consultancy
exactly
that is centered around, okay, I'm going to help other law firms, other people
pick the right jurors. Yes. Perfect. Or go, if you're into your church and you see that your church is having or the people in your church are having a specific issue, do some seminars at your church or at a community center and say, y'all want to come and learn about immigration law? Because that's what I do. All I'm asking y'all to do is pay $5 because I got to pay for this building and y'all need to pay for my expertise, but pay $5 or $10. And once you start doing that, you can start pivoting and moving. Look at, again, I'm a social media influencer, so I use social media a lot. Look at these young ladies who are on TikTok that were dancers at HBCUs or legitimately went to school to be a dancer. Now they online teaching line dancing, and now they're traveling all over the country, getting thousands of people to come to their line dance class. They charging $15. They walking out the door with 30,000.
Shout out to Shakima, one of my sorors, who's also the creator of the West Coast line dance. So yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like yoga, get a certification in it. You can go on YouTube and see that, and then say, Black girls like yoga too. Black girls like Pilates too. Come, y'all out here in LA, all of these trails and hiking trails. Say, hey, You want to learn how to run a 5K? I'm going to do a beginner's run class, and it's $10 every Saturday. Show up. We got to just pivot. We got to know how to use what we love and our expertise and share that with others.
I think where some of the hesitancy comes from, and for me, I know where the hesitancy comes from, is that mindset that there's not enough out there. There's not enough people who will sign up to come to my class. There's a lot of lack mindset around like people doing their own thing, people pivoting because, oh, if I leave this job, I ain't never going to get another job that pays this much. And there is a mindset shift that needs to happen. How can we learn how to center ourselves enough to know, one, there's enough out there for all of us. We can step in many, many different industries, and even if someone else is doing it, we can do it. How can we center ourselves to understand that that is a possibility, Nikki?
One way is to stop looking for answers and validation with everybody else. You are everything that you need. Number two, half the time, my damn friends and family don't see nothing I post, don't comment on it or nothing.
Girl.
But 200,000 other people find what I'm saying and find some truth in it, find some healing in it, find some education in it. We always say nobody gonna support me because our friends and family, we're looking at our friends and family. There are a whole bunch of people out there that you don't even know.
Sure is.
That are hoping you will do something so they can follow you. There's a whole lot of people in your networks who you don't know, but they know you. And as soon as you start doing something, those are going to be the people who are going to support you. So we've got to stop looking for validation outside and just believe. The most successful people in our networks and the most successful people we know just went for it. They went for it. And sometimes we just got to go for it. And go for it sometimes means moving your black ass back home with your mama now. Ooh. You got all of these bills. And I'm just being real. You got all these bills. And that job might say you got 6 months or you got 30 days. Or you may walk in the office tomorrow. And they be like, you know what I'm saying? And if that happened to me, I'm going to pack up all my shit and I'm going to my mama's house. And I don't care what anybody thinks about that because I got to pay these bills off to continue to do and live the life that I want to live. And I'll be right at my mama's house with them same pictures on the wall doing my 92 seconds of news.
So even at 53, you wouldn't even hold any shame about having to go, quote unquote, step backwards. And I use that in quotations because I moved back to my mom's house to help her. But I'm so grateful to be there during this time of turmoil.
Y'all be looking at the glass too half empty for me. If my mama got a house that's paid off and my room is still there, I'm going to my mama's house. Right now, my car is at my mama's house, right? I'm like, Mom, I'm not moving it to California. No. I wasn't going to leave it with my husband because he was going to drive the hell out of it. So I took it to Florida to my mama's house. And my mom is like, every day we come out this garage, we got to move your car, her and her husband. They got to move my car and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, well, mama.
I wasn't paying. I wasn't going to pay to put it in no storage, right? At 53 years old, I will move to my mom's house if I have to start over. And some of y'all, if you got good relationships with your parents, because some of us don't, but if you have good relationships with your parents, if you have somewhere you can go, that's part of Black women saving Black women. That's part of us looking out for each other. A girlfriend of mine lost her job and was living from house to house, like not wanting to tell people what was going on. And I said, what is going on with you? Last week you was over there. This week you was over. Well, girl, bring your ass over here. I got 2 extra bedrooms. Come over here until you get yourself together. And what did she do? Came over there, paid off her bills, and eventually bought herself a house. We have got to be willing to do that. I will pack up all my shit and go to my mama's house. And y'all need to realize that is not a bad thing. That is I need to get here for this amount of time, pay these bills off, or I'm just going to stay with my mama forever now. I already know. Why? I live in an apartment. now because I moved back to California recently. I'm in an apartment. I've had 2 houses, sold them, right? Why I'm about another house at 53 years old with a 30-year mortgage or 50-year because the Trump administration got a 50-year
Don't get me
mortgage coming on
started.
now. Why would I go buy another house? I mean, I can see if I want to pull the money out, if I got some equity on it. When my mama got a house,
That's
that if
paid
something
for.
happened to her, I know I can move back to Orlando, Florida, and I got a house. I'm just not going to overextend myself at 53 to buy another house right now. Not that but that may be bad financial advice. The financial advisors might say that's bad advice, but for me, that is what works.
I don't think it's about the financial advice. I think it's the attitude of I'm not going to care what other people are saying I should do that fits the narrative that I needed to do for the moment of where I'm at in my life.
And I've always been that kid, right? I've always been that person. My family told me when I graduated from FAM, I had braids in my hair and I was going to be this reporter. And they were like, you can't wear your hair like
You
that
gotta
in
take your
corporate
braids out.
America. I was like, what? And went down there, did my job. Ain't nobody never said nothing about my hair. I used to go to work with Bantu knots in my head. Ain't nobody say nothing. Because I did my job and I owned who I was in that space, right? We have got to stop letting society and our Black mamas and aunties tell us what we need to do to be accepted. Martin Luther King wore a suit every day and they still shot him.
Well,
Okay? So we have got to get out of this mindset of respectability politics. If you are good at what you do, be good at what you do, own it, and somebody is going to support it and somebody is going to fund it.
I love it. How have Black women saved you?
Ooh, Black women have, let me tell y'all, I can go on and on and on. But from a personal family standpoint, I was born into a family where my mom had 7 sisters, no brothers, and my grandparents, working class people, sent all 8 of those girls to college. So I grew up in a family where Black women were valued, Black women were empowered, Black women had opinions and voices, and nobody shut them down. You know, my grandparents were very much, y'all are going to be every dream that we have ever had that we could not do. You know, you ladies are going to be able to do things that we were never allowed to do. And I am literally my grandparents' wildest dream. I really am. And I was always empowered to use my voice. Now they tell me, you talk too much, shut up. Nobody want to hear that. You always got an opinion on something. And then I keep going, and then they jump into the conversation and they share their opinion, and we keep going. I've always been surrounded by greatness. I've always been surrounded by women who were very strong, women who were very opinionated, women who were very powerful, women who were very fly, women who didn't take shit, right? My mom had, like I said, my mom had 7 sisters. Ain't but 3 of them been married.
I love it.
Right? My mom had 7 sisters, ain't but 5 grandkids, and I'm the oldest. Okay? So I grew up empowered by women, right? And then I have this network of girlfriends, you all included, but this network of girlfriends who just inspire me every single day, even if it's just a girl, you wore that, or girl, you said that, or girl, you be talking so much shit, or girl, I saw what you did. You know what I mean? That empower me, that make me better.
That make us better.
I have girlfriends that call me and be like,
that ain't it, sis.
That was some bullshit. When me and my husband were going through it, my girlfriends were like on my ass. Not his. They was on me. He was calling them, saying, get your girl, right? And they were legitimately and seriously saying, you need to get your shit together. And even with pushback, right? We have got to be real with each other. Just like I told you, what, girl, you okay? You ain't at Microsoft. Okay. Everything you was putting into that job, you can put into, and that's the thing, everything that we put into these jobs, when you sit back and really analyze everything you've put into the job and what you have gotten out of it outside of a paycheck, you really ain't got shit. But when you do it for yourself,
that part,
you can see the manifestation of your greatness. You can see it. We go on these jobs again and give these people 2,000%. And then we leave 90% for us. I ain't doing that no
I
more.
don't even think we leave 90%.
Yeah.
We come home depleted. We come home with the mindset that this is all there is.
Yeah. And we come home, let's not forget, and we come home sometimes harboring and being pissed off at them fucking microaggressions
that part too.
that we have been dealing with. Oh, every day you come in with different hair, so bitch. So?
And will continue to
and
do so.
And this hair has nothing to do with the job that I'm performing. And I'm actually outperforming you, and it shows when I get a raise and you don't. But you worrying about this wig. That today I got curly hair, and tomorrow I got a part down the middle, a bust down, bang, full bang, or part down the middle. You worrying about that. And again, I think that shows my level of confidence, right? Because I got a different wig every day.
I love it.
People like, we don't know what you coming with today. The white people at work be like, we just be sitting here waiting to see what kind of hair you wearing today. I say, sit here and wait and see what kind of work I do today.
Surprise, surprise. I love it. Nikki, this has been awesome.
Oh,
this has been so refreshing. And what I want everyone to take away from this conversation with Nikki is that it's not too late.
Never.
It's never too late, not at any age.
Nope.
And 53 is still young, in my opinion, but even the older Gen Xers, the 60s, even baby boomers who feel like they can't even leave the workforce right now, it's not too late to pivot, y'all.
Yeah, and let me say this. I know we weren't specifically talking about social media, but let me say this. If you look at the statistics, the fastest growing age of people creating new social media accounts, especially on YouTube, are women 50 and over. We out here giving y'all the business. We out here telling y'all what y'all need to do. We out here saying we have been where you are. Listen to us. And we are capitalizing off of what is out here for us. And you guys need to do the same thing.
I love it. Where can the people find you? So
on Instagram, I am Nikki Free. That's Instagram and TikTok, which I'm not on TikTok as much.
Get on TikTok, Nikki, because that's where it's at.
On YouTube, for me, TikTok is and we have to remember Trump has forced.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
So that's going to be centered. I'm not on X, but on TikTok, on Instagram, on Threads, and on YouTube, it is I am Nikki Free. And on Facebook, it is still Nikki Freestyle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. It's been so great.
Good luck with this. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see how big Black Women Will Save Black Women becomes.
Oh, hearts. I love it. All right, y'all. So for this week's SAVE strategy, we're going to focus on the E for elevate. Elevate your voice. Speak to yourself. Speak as a friend would to you. Or in an email, I deserve work that honors my expertise and my well-being. Elevate your value. Think about like little wins. So many times we're focused on the big things in life, but those little wins add up to bigger things in the long run. Use it for like your resume, your pitch, your rate card. Always think about the value that you're bringing. Elevate your vision. Part of this administration and what their purpose is to dehumanize us, to devalue us, to make it seem like there's no hope and there's no vision or future for us. Think about your vision, elevate it, choose a path or a target for the next 30 days, either maybe a targeted job search or a targeted passion that you want to pursue. Think about it and write a vision for it. Commit to it, calendar it, but I really want you to think about ways to elevate yourself. And that is this week's SAVE strategy. As always, like, subscribe, follow Black Women Will Save Black Women on all social media platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow me, Miss KT Dillard on TikTok. I want Nikki on it. Kamika T. Dillard on Instagram. As always, support, amplify, validate, elevate. That's how we save each other. And never forget that Black women will save Black women. I'm your host, Kamika Dillard. Have a great week.